Oh, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for being here. Indio on the radio. And guess who we have with us today? If it's not the one, the only, the vocal powerhouse of the RGV, if it's not Hilda Lamas.
Hey, everyone.
There you are. How are you doing, Hilda?
Oh, I am doing fantastic. I actually just came and settled myself, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be late. And I'm just so happy we made it, and we're finally here, and we're doing this. I'm so excited.
Yes, it's great. Thank you so very much for showing up. And I do know that it was kind of tough and everything, is we were both kind of like, oh my gosh, you know, this and that. Oh, Sonia. Hey, Sonia, how are you doing? Yeah, Sonia over from Kerrville, Texas. Is it Kerrville? Sorry, Sonia. I know you're thank you for joining. Sorry if I messed up where you're from. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So, Hilda, how have you been?
Honestly, I've been on this amazing journey for the last 3-4 months, and I think my world just kind of feels like it's in a whirlwind right now, and I'm trying to get everything straight. But it's been amazing. It's been amazing. I've met so many amazing people along the way, and so I'm just truly blessed right now.
Yeah, and you know, I'll be honest with you. And she did say it was clean. I was wrong. Sorry, I knew it started with a K. And you're my cousin, so I should know, but I'm sorry. Don't get mad. Don't tell mom. Just kidding. But here's the deal. Yes, you have been in a whirlwind, and I'll tell you this. I have had more people ask me to get you on the show that are artists, you know, and they're like, you got to have Hilda on there. She is, and and I reviewed your catalog. You know, we talked earlier. I reviewed your catalog, like all of your music, everything that, not everything, but everything that I could get my hands on. And I've dubbed you the Etta James of Tejano music because you have this voice, you have this ability to encompass. And what I love about what you do, because you have a couple of cover songs, but you're able to make it yourself, which is very hard to do. People tend to try to stay close as they can to the original song, but you got a way of making it yourself, still staying true to the song, but still making it yours. And it's not so far gone that we don't understand it or we don't know the song. And that's really an accomplishment. You should be really, really proud of yourself, because that's amazing. And the only time I sing that good is when I'm in the shower and nobody's listening.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. That is probably the hugest compliment anybody could have ever given me. I'm a huge Etta James fan.
Oh, yeah.
So if anybody has seen my live show, it is a must. Every show we always have to do I'd Rather Go Blind. And it's just one of my favorites. You know, when you feel something,
right,
you just got to share it. Like it's indescribable, the feels I get when I do that song.
Yeah, and you do it so well, because I saw some live footage. I wasn't able to get a hold of it, but I did see some live footage of you doing you know, this, and I'm like, there's times when singers just sing for the sake of singing. You can see, because you can hear the volume or how the inflection or the feeling that they put in a song, where it's like, this is a song that we're going to do because this is a song to fill the time, as opposed to, I just love this song, and you hit it every time. You can hear it, you know, and
oh, thank you.
It really, really comes out. It resonates really, really well. And you know, I was just like, wow, you know, and I do apologize, because I have one of your songs that I've been playing that's on the rotation, but I get so much music. I don't have a lot of time to really delve into the whole catalog until you're coming out for an interview. And that's when I get to fall in love with a lot of the music that you have. And it's so varied and it's so different. You're going from R&B to Tejano to, I mean, everything in between, which is wonderful. Tell me, where does that come from? Where does that where are you getting that? Because there's no roadmap here, sweetheart. You got like, this is
No.
oh, definitely this song is awesome. Then you go to like a country sounding song, and then you're like all over the map, which is wonderful. I'm not criticizing it, but There's no definite roadmap here. What's the method to the madness? What makes you
Gee. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm a big, big believer that you only sing what you feel.
correct?
Okay. And it's like you said, if you're not feeling it, then it is really just sounds coming out of your mouth, and it's just, it's just there. It's pretty,
Mhm.
but you don't feel it. So with that premise in mind, growing up, I grew up on gospel and Motown. And
Shows.
so that right there is my foundation, my soulful foundation right there. I was not allowed to listen to, I guess you could say, the popular music when I was a kid. So growing up in my household, and I was in first grade, and I still remember this, and I'm an 80s kid. I was born in 83. And New Kids on the Block was happening. It was fantastic when I was in first grade. But in first grade, I had no idea who New Kids on the Block was.
Right.
I thought Aretha Franklin was the best thing since peanut butter in first
Mhm.
grade. And I always wondered why my friends thought I was kind of a little off. And as I got older, I started realizing, oh, because my parents have us in this bubble. And, it was for our own protection, hey, this is the good music. This is what we approve for you to listen to. And it was great stuff. Great stuff. Supremes, Four Tops, man, you name it. I listened to it, and I still remember every single lyric to pretty much every single song because I love that stuff.
Right.
So as I got older, my older sister started listening to country music. So I got indoctrinated into 90s country. Still a big fan of Faith Hill, Martina McBride. I mean, just amazing vocalists. And then, of course, I start listening to a lot more of the popular stuff once I hit about high school. I remember coming across my very first CD was Gloria Estefan's Greatest Hits.
Ooh.
And I memorized that thing from the start all the way to the finish, and I still have it memorized. I'm a huge Gloria Estefan fan. And so it just kind of, all these different genres just started peeking their head in. And I grew up about, I'd say 20 miles outside of Corpus Christi in a small town, Aransas Pass.
Oh, yeah.
And so I still remember, going to school one morning, and I hear like all these kids talking, oh my God, Selena got shot. Well, I live 20 minutes from Corpus Christi, and I had no idea who Selena was until the morning that, it hits. And, it's like the day after. So it wasn't until then that I started actually diving into Tejano music. And I had no idea what the genre was even. I was like, wow, okay, it's in Spanish, and I don't speak a lick of Spanish. Mind you, my mom's family comes from Mexico, and her and my dad speak fluent Spanish. And the only Spanish we really heard growing up was my parents when they'd get on to us and we were in trouble. So that's how we knew we were in trouble, because they start speaking in Spanish. And so it was kind of just like a mixed pot of everything growing up. And then comes the rebel side of me. I graduated high school. I'd been doing national anthems and singing in church since I was like 4. And I remember when I was trying to get my foot into the door of the business, I was always met, like I would meet with different producers, different investors, and they're like, well, honey, you're going to have to choose a genre. And because I'm a rebel, I was like, I'm not choosing a genre. I'm going to do whatever I like. If I feel it, I'm going to do it. So my first record, which I don't even think is available right now, I think it kind of got removed, and it's a whole copyright thing. Anyway, that's what happens when you're involved with a record label. So it was like Latin rock mixed in with some blues. And that was all over the place. You had R&B, it was covers, it was originals. It's just a mix. And just as I went on, it was just like, oh, you know what? I like that song. Or I had at one point a European agent that would just throw me material and say, here's all this stuff. Whatever you want, it's yours. And so, then we did a blues record. And then we did Latin pop. And now we're working on Tejano and Conjunto. And so it's just, I love music, and it doesn't matter the genre. If I feel it, then I'm going to do it. And if I don't feel it, I'll listen to somebody else do it. So that's kind of where all of that comes from. I've got a little bit of country going on right now too. And I've been a big fan of country music since I was like, 10 or 11. So it really just truly is a mixing pot of just my whole entire childhood and how it all just came together. And music's just amazing. I just love music.
Yeah, that's very, very true. And like I was saying earlier, it's like all over the map. It's a beautiful map. I'm not saying it's bad map. It's a beautiful map. It's definitely you're very experimental, which is very encouraging because then you're not sticking to a formula. You're not formulaic. You're not in this little box. You're willing to go outside of the box and just try different things that make you feel good. And like I said earlier, music, good music is good music. It doesn't matter, if it was released 5 years ago, if it was 5 minutes ago. Real quickly, let me go ahead and send a shout out to Andy Bustamante, who just gave you a little comment to say, Hilda,
Ah,
love Hilda.
hi,
She's
Andy.
awesome. Yes, she is. She is awesome, and so are you, Andy. Andy's a beautiful person. Congratulations on your recent thing that you shared with us earlier today. And I'm so happy for you. And please come back to the show whenever you want to. Johnny Hernandez is also here. Hey, Johnny, how are you doing, brother? Nice to see you.
Oh,
Juan Gonzalez as well just joined the class. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining in. If you got some questions for Hilda, don't think twice about asking them as long as they're nice questions, no bad questions. Now,
no, they can do bad questions. The only bad question is the one that's not asked. I mean, come
yeah,
on.
well,
But
that's
no, big
true,
shout
but
out to my girl Andy, and man, she is amazing, amazing. And if you've never seen her live, you need to see her live. She's wow, just wow.
yeah, Andy Laclave, that I mean, just I got a chance to interview her, got to know her more. Is an incredible talent, and what a voice! What a voice! She's very versatile, just like you. And that's wonderful to have. Let me ask you this real quick: how does it feel to be part of this new movement? Which I was actually talking to a couple of people before we make a point of it, the women take over at Tejano music, but in reality they were already there. It's just that they're getting better recognition, which should have happened from the very beginning. It shouldn't have been an issue. It should always, and now that the big corporations aren't part of it, trying to get as much money from it and extract or take advantage of it, uh, uh, now people are more free to do what it is that they want to do. They're more free to put out the music that they want to, as opposed to you got to sound like that, you got to look like that, you got to be like that, you got to go here, you got to do this. Now it's just you do what you do. How does it feel to be part of that new wave, or not new wave, but that wave of recognition that women deserve?
It's an amazing feeling. Especially, I started in this business probably, I would say, about 2004, 2005.
Hmm.
And I've always been around the Tejano scene since I came on board. For those of you who don't know, my husband is Rick Garcia, amazing producer, Hall of Famer. Has worked with so many amazing talents, Ruben Bella, Lisa Lopez. So it was always around me from the moment that I stepped foot into the business. And it's just so much has changed in how you market your
Right.
music and what's available. When I first started, I didn't have money to do a whole website and make it all grand and pretty and stuff, but at that time you needed that. So I had to teach myself how to do that. Now you just log on to Facebook, you log into Twitter, it's all social media. Yes, a website, yeah, it's still nice to have, but it's just more of like just a nice little addition to things. And I think with the progression of how the music industry has shifted, it made it so much easier for women to take their rightful place.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying, we're better, but I am saying, though, is that for years we've kind of been cast into a shadow, and it's been so male dominated. And in some respects, it still is. But it's such an amazing feeling to just see how organically the music industry shifted in a different direction. And now here come the women. And watch out, because we're here to show you what we can do, and we're here to have our place in history. And the best part about it is the camaraderie.
Oh yeah.
All of these women support each other, and I've said this before and I really mean it. I kind of blame it on Shelly Lettuce, because she just has this knack of taking in female artists, and she is so welcoming, so encouraging. And I really feel that she's the one who kind of started this whole movement, and all these amazing women are coming together, and it's not a competition. We're all in it to support each other, and that's just amazing.
Yeah, and it's wonderful that you point that out because she was one of the ones that were very prominent back in the day, and she was one of the ones that did it her way, and that's what I really appreciate about Shelly. I mean, I've met her when she was with Manny Records, and she was, she wanted to do country, she did it. Break It To Me Gently. When she moved on to all these other different companies, and then even when she did her own, she wrote a lot of her own music. She plays instruments. She's got a keen ear, knowing what good music is and what, because it's easy to fall into that trap. Well, it sounds just like this. Let's just go ahead and redo, this song, and you don't. You can just have new ones, and that's very, very true. And like you said, where women should be, and I believe that. I firmly believe that social media did change it, and then it got compounded the with the pandemic. Then it became an avenue to where, that's it. You couldn't go to concerts anymore. Well, you could, but it wouldn't be wise for you to go, congregate in these long, big rooms. But now that it's kind of, we're getting over that hump. It hasn't gone away. Let's not kid ourselves. It's still there, but we've taken much more precautions. We're learning how to deal with it and how to protect ourselves. So for you, getting back on the road, like you said, you're getting back into the road, you're getting back there to doing all these different things. How does it feel to get that electricity back, that being in front of a crowd again, to sing, because you are, like you said, you're a very passionate singer, and it shows, and it's wonderful. That's the kind of show you want to go to, where the person really enjoys what it is that they're doing.
Man, I tell you, the feeling is surreal. I have a lot of friends who are not in the music industry, and so for them, their things are going out on Friday night, have drinks, and that's all fun. Like I enjoy that, but I don't get a better high than being on stage and performing. It's just that energy, and there's nothing better than that energy that happens when you're on stage. And it's a mixture of the people, of the environment, of the band that's right there with you, and it's just so awesome. And I have a hard time explaining that to some of my friends. Sometimes they don't get it,
Yeah,
but that's okay. That's okay, because I don't get some of the stuff that they're into. But for me, music is my high, and performing on stage with people, oh my gosh, it's out of this world. And to be honest, I was really scared at one point because I did come down with COVID.
hmm,
It was January of this past year, so what, 21? And I was in the hospital, and I was really scared because I didn't think that I was going to make it.
right,
And even when I got out, my voice was not where it was. My breathing was everywhere, and I was really scared. I was like, wow. So I'm alive, and I need to be thankful for my life. But at the same time, it was a struggle to get my voice back. And I made a promise to myself is, when I get my voice back, if that happens, then I'm just going to give it everything I've got. All of these fears that I had that would hold me back from so many opportunities, it was kind of like, okay, I've got to shake it off, because my biggest fear is not being able to sing again.
right.
And so from that, it's been an amazing journey back, and how it just all correlates with the COVID and recovering, and going on tour with a big Disney artist who's just amazing in her own right,
Yeah.
and taking on the background singer role, which I never ever ever thought I would. But there's always been this one singer since I was 15, I think, when I first heard her voice. And I remember asking Rick one day, hey, who is this woman? Like, she's amazing. And I remember the song, like, didn't have her name on it or anything like that. She was just a feature that they just didn't feature. But her voice was there. And I knew that it was somebody other than the artist. And he would tell me, oh, her name's Adasa, and here's her music. And at the time, she was hitting really big in reggaeton. And I said, man, I would kill to one day be her backup vocalist. And literally, that's the only artist I've ever said that about. And here we are years later, post COVID, and here's this great opportunity. And so all summer, I was so blessed to be able to go on the road with her, see how she does it as a pro. And oh my God, she's the most amazing person ever. So to conquer that fear, mind you, I am deathly afraid of heights.
Oh gosh.
Don't do small spaces. And yet all summer, I literally flew from one city to another, and talk about conquering fear. So with that, I've also been back on stage, getting my band back, to where we're like, okay, let's get on the road again. Let's do this. Let's explore all these possibilities. And so if somebody were to say, hey, what were the good things about COVID? The good thing about COVID for me is it made me do that reality check, and it made me count my blessings again and be like, okay, I need to focus on all the positive things, and I need to start taking those chances, and I need to start, pursuing my dreams, because somewhere along the way, I lost it. Somewhere along the way, I just got content and I was settling.
Yeah, you were
And
complacent with the position that you were in.
exactly. And I think COVID gave me that little shake that I needed to kind of say, hey, look, I believe that, God gives us all gifts. And if you don't use your gift, it will be taken. So I think this is like kind of my little wake up call, like, hey, it can be taken at any moment. So go use it.
Yeah.
And I enjoy using it. So it's a beautiful thing right now. It really is. And then all of these wonderful ladies that are coming out that have actually been out, some of them have been out for years, but they've just kind of been cast in the shadow up until really the COVID, and everybody is at home. And one of my friends, and I think she's amazing, Sonia de la Paz.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God. I remember her when she was back singing with the Jolly Ranchers, and I was living in Corpus, and she was in Laredo, and they come play over there. And I was like, man, that girl could sing. And here she is. Finally, the world is getting to hear her on the platform that she needs to be at. And the sky's the limit for her. She's amazing. And all of these vocalists, they're, like I said, it's camaraderie, man. We're all supporting each other, and it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate about, we were talking earlier about social media, and it's kind of difficult to, you got Twitter, you got Facebook, you got TikTok, you got blah 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 blah, blah, and you got to keep doing it. And like tonight, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitch, we're on Mixcloud, we're on my radio station, and and on YouTube. That's a lot of things to be simulcasting all at the same time, but this is kind of the deal that we do. And getting back to where you said, with Adasa, who is the voice of Dolores, thank you. I just remember the flower, the one with the flowers in Canto, and which is you got, if you haven't seen the movie already, you got to see it. Even though it's a Disney movie, it's still, there's a lot of culture in it. There's a lot of richness. It gives real credit to culture. It's not just patronizing in any way. It's wonderful. But here's the deal. Kudos to you once again, because being a backup is not the same as being a singer. It is a very difficult thing. It's a talent unto itself. You can't just, oh, I'm going to do backup. No, 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 no. It takes talent to be a backup as well. It's not just, just for anybody, for sure. I mean, Rebecca Valadez, she does backup, and as a matter of fact, she told me once that she prefers it at times. She prefers it. So it is a tough deal to do, which is singing backup. So don't.
Yeah, and honestly, in some respects, I actually think that backup vocalists have it a little bit harder because their concentration. I mean, because there was 3-4 of us doing backup harmonies and stuff like that, and so the concentration and the level, and I mean, you have to be precise. Whereas when you're the lead vocalist, you kind of have that flexibility. You just do your own thing, but the background vocals have to be there.
Yeah,
and so it was a challenge, and man, I loved it. I loved every minute of it, and I can't wait to do it again. I really can't.
Well, like I said, it's a very difficult thing. It's very much appreciated as far as, doing it. Real quickly, Rubianne is watching. Hey, how are you doing, Rubianne and Carlos? And also a good friend of mine, the one and only Orlando, or I can't say his name. Osvaldo, I think that's his name. Anyway, from It's Tejano Time. What time is it? It's Tejano Time. He says, hey, shout out from DFW. Thank you very much for joining us. And like I said, they're from all over the place. Now, Rubianne reminds me that you're going to have a gig coming up this weekend. And it's not just one thing. You're going to be one of, 13, 14 different other bands that are going to be performing. It's a wonderful cause. It's called the Rubianne 281 Takeover Texas Fire down in Brownsville. And I think you're playing kind of in the middle there, right?
I'm like in the middle somewhere. I think I'm opening up for Alicia C, which I'm so stoked about. She's a super cool person, but she's even super talented. So it just goes hand in hand. And I had the huge honor of meeting her. I want to say almost about a year ago now. It was at a pageant. We were actually Ruby Ann. It's all Ruby Ann's fault on this one. She's the one who got us together for this thing, and we just hit it off, man. She's good people. Ruby Ann is amazing. She's one of my besties. I'll tell you that right now. Every time she's live, I always try and catch her lives because they're hilarious. Her and Carlos, man, yeah, crazy. But man, Saturday is going to be off the hook. Everyone needs to come down to Brownsville. If you need tickets, let me know. Contact Ruby Ann. Contact any of the artists, and we will get you connected with where you need to be. It's going to be amazing, and it's all for all these good causes. So Ruby is amazing in that she's always giving back to her community, and as many people know, she is a police officer. So she does serve our community in more ways than one.
Right.
That's awesome. And so she's forever raising funds, doing giveaways and stuff like that for the less fortunate in the area. And so all the proceeds from this are going over to all of these organizations that she is involved in. So it's for a great event.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, but really quick, just those events are going to be, because I know these, not all of them, but I know most of them. How's that? So it's going to be raising money for the Thanksgiving dinners that they give out for Thanksgiving for those unfortunate. And then also they're going to be raising money for Christmas gifts for, get this, for not only for kids, because kids need help, need Christmas gifts. Not all of them get the gifts that they ask for or anything else. But here is the truth. Christmas isn't just for kids. It's also for everybody. Okay. And so she also has a special donation for people in nursing homes. And I've participated in a lot of these, not with her, but in other ones. And it is very, very true. People in nursing homes, a lot of times they don't have family to come and visit them. And they don't really ask for much. They ask for socks, they ask for blankets, but most of all, just interaction with other people because they're just there by themselves. And that's really where the gift of love and the gift of Christ comes in for Christmas for the nursing home. But she also takes care of the animal shelter. Come on, who thinks of animal shelter when they think of Christmas gifts? Which is really awesome, and which I think that's the reason I was willing to put my name on it. Hell yeah, put me down, because this is a great cause. It's helping out a lot of people. What manner of people would we be if we did not try to make this world a better place? At least that's what I believe. And then diverting really quick, Bobby Castañeda, he says, saludos desde California. Hilda, didn't you sing the blues before? Yes, you have.
Yes, I still sing the blues. Thank you so very, very much.
She doesn't have the blues, but she sings the blues.
That's one of the beautiful things about music is that just because you hop around to different genres does not mean you're closing the door on one. So I do have another blues project in the works. I probably have about, honestly, 5 different projects going on right now. And they're all in different genres. So it's a race to see which one's going to get finished first.
Right. That's cool. That's cool. Roxanne from Roxy y Grupo Texas, she says, hola, saludos. I just talked to her not too long ago. Beautiful woman. She's really funny. I really like her. She's very likable. That's a great thing to have, and you who else is going to be there? Jessica B. Both of y'all have a trait that I really love. Y'all both have that infectious smile. Every time I see you guys smile, it makes me want to smile too. And I'm like, so it's really,
oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
Infectious. I love that about y'all guys. Now, just so that way for people to hear or kind of get a little feeling of what you're going to get when you see Hilda Lamas this weekend and anytime you go out to her show, because I've seen some of her shows and some of it is available on YouTube. You can go ahead and check it out. She's got a great show, great music that comes along. Now this song, I believe you wrote it. It's called No Sé Por Qué.
I didn't write it. It actually came from another songwriter in Spain.
Okay.
And my European agent at the time, he was sending me all these songs and he sent this one. And I was like, oh my God, it's beautiful. And for those of you who don't kind of know a little bit of my background, I love ballads. And when I heard this song, I looked at Rick and I said, I have to do this song. So we need to do this. And so it was something that apparently the guy had written specifically to pitch to me. And so just being able to sit there and record it, it was amazing. It was amazing.
And it's a beautiful song, and I guarantee you're gonna love it. Uh, so just go ahead and listen to it. This is one of the songs that made me really fall in love with a lot of the music that you do, Hilda. I really do appreciate it. We talked about it earlier. I was like, I'm gonna play it. I don't have
Oh.
these limitations or anything else. It's my show, so I can do it if I want to. So I'm taking advantage of that. I'm calling spades. Here it is, Indio on the radio, Cubo Radio, with the one and only Hilda Lamas, and this is her song, No sé por qué.
Momentos en los que no sé despertar. Tus ojos me miran y quiero volar. No sé si es real. No, eres todo lo que un día yo buscaba. El anhelo que a Dios yo le rogaba. Y no sé por qué me tienes con tan solo mirarme. Me atrapas y me llevas hasta un lugar que jamás podré encontrar. Y no sé por qué me llevas con tan solo tocarme. Y a veces se me lleva hasta el final de la oscura soledad, que hoy dejo atrás. No sé que solo tu voz me puede hacer llorar. Sin miedo a perderte prefiero amar. Sé que esto es real. No, eres todo lo que un día yo buscaba. El anhelo que a Dios yo le rogaba. Y no sé por qué me tienes con tan solo mirarme. Me atrapas y me llevas hasta un lugar que jamás podré encontrar. Y no sé por qué me llevas con tan solo tocarme. Me abrazas y me llevas hasta el final de la oscura soledad, que hoy dejo atrás. No sé por qué me tienes con tan solo mirarme. Me atrapas y me llevas hasta un lugar que jamás podré encontrar. Y no sé por qué me llevas con tan solo tocarme. Me abrazas y me llevas hasta el final de la oscura soledad. Que hoy dejo atrás. No, oh, nadie.
Wow. Didn't I tell you that was an awesome song? For those of you that are listening, even Sonia, she says, I love your sound, an amazing song. And it's just
Aw,
Magali de la
thank you guys so
Rosa.
much.
She just came in and she says, Queen. Of course, Magali.
Magali. Oh, I love her so much. I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. So I've been looking for the perfect dress for some upcoming events that I have going on, and I'm searching, and I find it, but it's not perfect. Like, it's missing all these things. And so the first person I text, Magali, because oh my God, she's just amazing first and foremost. And I was like, girl, I need your help. I was like, either you can help me or you know somebody who can. And so girlfriend is hooking it up. And we're actually going to go shopping for some material and stuff. And she's going to help guide me along this process so I can have the perfect dress. So you know what, Magali, if you're down, we're going to do all of this and we're going to record it on socials. That way everybody can follow us around because I think that would be so much fun.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's one of the things that I was sitting there mentioning to Roxy, not Roxy, but to Ruby-Ann was like, what is she going to wear? She is the Tejano Madonna. She's just always reinventing herself. She's always like, she's fashion forward. It's, I mean, she's got, I mean, she dresses her band. How's that? You know, she's like everywhere. Randy Navarrete, thank you very much for joining us. It's nice to see you again. Thank you so very much for being here, supporting it. Once again, shout out to my buddy, my friend Buddy, and you know, he calls himself Buddy. It's Tejano time. All the time is what he says. Yes, no, it's very, it's true. She's got wonderful talent. But going back to this song, like I said, it's an awesome song. It's just so good.
Oh, thank you.
Such emotion. It just really comes across, and it's just like I love the grit that's kind of there at the end. You know, when you put that little growl that goes in there. It's just it's a wonderful DJ Cowboy. Thanks a lot for joining us. Yeah, it's just a wonderful song. I really do. You got a great ear, and beside your voice as well. You know, because sometimes. When talking to when we did the interview with Bobby Pulido, he said music, it's you got to pick the right songs. It's always picking the right songs. It's always and that's very, very true. You got a great catalog, and it needs to be heard. So it's my mission now to put it on the air so that way everybody and
you're so awesome.
It's what we have to do. Now let me ask you this. Now we've already talked about how you got started and everything else, listening in as kids and everything else, but who was your inspiration to sing, or is it just something that you just like doing?
It was a mix. I think it was a combination of growing up in a church, and I would sing with my sisters. So I have 3 sisters, and my mom would play piano. My mom has an amazing voice too, and all my sisters, all my brothers, all of us sing. And so in church, it would be my older sister, myself, and then my 2 younger sisters, and we would do a lot of that in church, and I absolutely loved it. My first solo was at like the age of 4 for a Christmas pageant. So I still remember that, and I would love being on stage. But the problem is when you come from a family with so many singers, my older sister, who's amazing in her own right, she was the star sister. So everybody always wanted her to sing, which, hey, as a younger sister, you're like, okay, and, I'm the second oldest of 8 kids. So I think that also added to my motivation, because it's like, I kind of wanted to be like her, I wanted people to hear me sing too. So it was just a nice combination. And then as I got older, and I started learning about my family history, that's when I learned about my aunt. So let me tell you a little about my aunt. My aunt, her name is Dulce, La Cantante, and she's like really huge in Mexico, and she's in movies and novelas and all of this stuff. And so I think it was just kind of in the blood to begin with. So I think it's just like a mix of all of that is just, and then just my passion for it. I love being on stage.
And you're like, I think that's Dulce. It's funny. She's like, she's in soap operas, it's like, no, por qué? That's the way she talks all the time. But it's cool. It doesn't, inspiration comes from all different locations. The fact that you have the talent, you're willing to share it. That's really the key is having, having that light, not putting it under a bushel basket, but let it shine. Let everybody get to see that light and enjoy it, which is really, really wonderful. And, I want to give those of us that are fans and listening or joining us from Facebook or YouTube or wherever it is that you're joining us and sending in these comments, thank you so very much. But I want to give you a little piece of some more of how Hilda's talent is just it's immense. It's wonderful. This is a song, it's a cover, but I just love the way you approach it and it is super great. So I want you guys to go ahead and listen to this and appreciate it. And like I said, we're going to be playing it because we can, and we want to hear it because it should be heard. This is Hilda Lama. I'm DJ and DO on the radio, Hilda Lamas, and this is her version of Te Voy a Amar. You're going to love it.
No me abandonas así, hablando sola de ti. Ven y devuélveme al fin la sonrisa que se fue. Una vez más, tocar tu piel y hondo suspirar. Recuperemos lo que se ha perdido. Regresa a mí, quiéreme otra vez. Borra el dolor que al irte me dio cuando te separaste de mí. Dime que sí, ya no quiero llorar. Regresa a mí, no puedo olvidar. Tráeme el amor que se fue, tráeme la dicha también. Quiero que vengas a mí y me vuelvas a querer. No puedo más si tú no estás, tienes que llegar. Mi vida se apaga sin ti a mi lado. Regresa a mí, quiéreme otra vez. Borra el dolor que al irte me dio cuando te separaste de mí. Dime que sí, ya no quiero llorar. Regresa a mí. No me abandonas así, hablando sola de ti. Devuélveme la pasión de tus brazos. Regresa a mí, quiéreme otra vez. Borra el dolor que al irte me dio cuando te separaste de mí. Dime que sí, ya no quiero llorar. Regresa, regresa a mí, oh baby, y dime que me quieres. Regresa a mí, mi vida, sin ti sé que no puedo. No puedo
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the one. That was a great song. I love that song. Hey, big shout out to Daniel Garcia, Big D in the house. Thank you so very much. He says it's an awesome voice. Of course it is. It's great
Oh,
voice.
thank you.
Like I said, you kind of you go down in your lower because you're not a baritone, so but you hit your lower register there, and it was just like wow, and then you just pick it up an octave and a half to go up. It's just really, really impressive. You know, just the. I got a question for you. When do you breathe, woman? This is a lot. These notes are so
You
long.
know that is my weakness is breathing.
Yeah.
That's probably my biggest frustration in the studio sometimes because I get so into it that I forget to breathe.
Oh yeah.
And
You're like,
I'm working on it.
yeah, when you hit that note, I was like, oh my gosh, she's like baking cookies. She did her taxes, sent out Christmas cards, and then she finished up. I was like, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, man. That's a long, long time to carry that note, which is pretty awesome. So, but yeah,
Oh, thank you.
it's great, just experimenting with your voice. And Ram, he said that. He said all these years that he's been in music, he's always trying to push his voice just a little bit more, just trying to push the boundaries, not being complacent. And he's done it for so long that he says that just now he's getting where he really likes his voice, which is amazing to me because he's the velvet voice of Tejano. And he's one of those. And then going back to the variances between men and women, there's a few men that really had these beautiful voices, Ram and Jay, there's a few of them in there, but there's been more women that have come across with that, that powerhouse that, I call you the vocal powerhouse of Tejano music for a reason, because it's having the versatility to be able to sing different types of music and still be effective with carrying every note and hitting every note and pitch. It's not an easy thing. And there's few artists out there that can do that. So kudos to you for bringing us that and
Oh,
sharing your talent with us, which is just amazing. It's wonderful. Let's get real quick to 281, doing the 281 takeover with Ruby Ann, and you got Magali that's going to be there, of course, and then
yes.
Jenny B, and then obviously Roxy, she's going to be there as well. There's going to be a lot of talent, 14 groups. It's going to be all day. It's starting at 12 o'clock. Open the doors. It's going to go to midnight. You got food vendors, you got regular vendors there for you. You're going to be there, you're going to be performing, but what was that one thing that, was it just camaraderie, or what was that one thing that you said, most definitely count me in for this thing?
Um, Honestly, it's just because Ruby said, "Hey, you want to do this? Yes, count me in." Like, I didn't need any more details. I didn't need just anything with Ruby Ann is fun,
Hmm.
and I love hanging out with my sister in music. And so I don't know if you caught it, but she was on live, and I was randomly driving home. And I was gonna go to Brownsville anyway, and we live about 30 minutes apart from each other. I'm in Harlingen, she's in Brownsville, so it's not far. And I just look over at my husband, Rick, and he's like, "We're gonna go to Brownsville earlier." And so I didn't tell her anything. She was still live. We were still watching her and Carlos. And we just went by the venue, and I totally surprised her. It was so much fun. And we wound up karaokeing. Like, we were just like, okay, we're like the only two people in the whole place. But that's what happens when you love the company you're with and you love what you do. And we just had such a great time. And that's what you will expect from Ruby Ann every single time. It's going to be fun and memorable. And I still remember the first time I saw her on stage, which was maybe about 6 months ago, give or take.
Hmm.
I didn't know she was gonna be there. It was an event that Rick was like, "Hey, come with me to this event." And reluctantly, I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll go." And so I was so happy when I did, because then there's Ruby Ann on stage. Andy was there, Andy Bustamante. And so it was just fun. It was the first time I'd ever met the girls, and they were just so amazing, not just talent wise, but as people too. And so, yes, that's what made me do it. Just when Ruby says, "Hey, you want to do this?" Yes, ma'am. Like, you just tell me when and where, and I'm there, because she's amazing, and she right here in my heart. She's got a very special place. She always will. She's one of my dearest friends.
Yeah. Daniel Garcia says that Ruby Ann is awesome, and you're right, Daniel. She is awesome. She is a good friend of mine as well. We I talked to her. She calls me her musical father. And so which is fun. She's just a fun person to be around, and her and Carlos. And when they asked me to be part of it, I was like, shoot, yeah, I'm going to be driving roughly 9 hours to get to here.
Ouch.
But it's well worth it. It's great cause, great people. I'm going to be there doing some interviews, live interviews, doing some live posts from there as well. Because, this deserves the opportunity for everybody to hear and participate in, help out, plus you get great music. And I always say, you've heard me say this before, for those of you that are regulars on the show, I always say this, the if you want to support Tejano music, you want to support your Tejano artists, you gotta go to their shows and buy
Yes.
their merch. So, with that being said, where can we get some of that merch, girlfriend? And I know the show is coming up this weekend, but where can we get something to remind us of Hilda Lamas?
Well, I will have some limited merchandise at the show this Saturday. I actually have a new order coming in, but it hasn't gotten here yet. It's supposed to be here Friday. Now, will that happen? I don't know. But we're going to count on it just not being here. But in the
Right.
meantime, I do have some koozies and frisbees, tambourines, some t-shirts, some brand new t-shirts that we just had made not too long ago. And so, yeah, come on out, come grab your merch. I'd love to meet you. I'm looking forward to meeting you, actually. That's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to have some great times.
Oh, most definitely. And Hilda, I'm a big cat fan. As you can see, my Ruby Ann cap that I'm wearing. I'm a big cat fan. Which is funny because I have long hair, and so as being native, I have long hair. Not that it's a requirement, but I do. but yeah, I'm always putting it under a cap. And some people say, "Are you bald?" I'm not bald. I have a full head of hair. It's just that I like caps. I actually like cowboy hats, but I wear caps as well. Cowboy hats don't work here for some reason. But it's wonderful, and I'm so excited to get out there and see you. Now, I was talking to Ruby Ann and some of the other artists that are going to be there, and the thing came up was Hilda Lamas has to sing some Etta James. So what's up with that? What are you saying? Is it in the plan? You don't have to spill it. You can keep us in suspense. I'm just putting that out there, that the request has been made, and I know you can do it because I've heard you, and it's amazing. It's awesome. But you're it's true. That's something that people really appreciate about your ability and your talent. How does that make you feel that you have artists, I mean, people are people, don't get me wrong, and I'm not diminishing, the fans, please don't get that wrong. But I'm saying, when an artist who spends their life, this is their livelihood, this is what they do, when they say, you know what, I really want her to sing this song, how does that make you feel that, your own compatriots are asking that of you?
Honestly, it's an incredible feeling, and I am so honored that they would think enough of me and my talents to say something like that. I'm really floored by
Mhm.
that, especially because it is such an iconic artist like Etta
Yeah.
James. Um, because those are big shoes to fill. That's a tall order, and the fact that they think enough of me that I can even come close to doing her stuff justice, it's a huge compliment, and it really means so much, more than they will ever know.
Yeah, well, that's it's very, very true, and I believe you can do it because I've heard your voice, and like I told you, I've listened to your catalog, what I could get my hands on, and I love all of it. And let me share this with you real quick. Danny Garcia, who's got Big D's Facebook group, he says you can post anything on my group, and she's welcome to do it. He's a real big supporter.
Oh
That's
wow.
really, really great. He's got a lot of people that are part of the group, and the wonderful thing, like he says, my group has open doors for any artist, and it's very, very true. He doesn't share that with me, by the way. I don't get to put anything on there. No, just kidding. Sorry, Daniel.
Oh
No, no, I'm not.
yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, that's wonderful that they're reaching out for you to try to get the music, because it's true. Like I said to you before we got on, good music is good music. It needs to be heard. It deserves to be heard. And hopefully I can be a platform for people to fall in love with music or get the opportunity to listen to it, so that way they can fall in love with the music. And it's just it's what everybody needs, yes, I have music from David Lee Garza and Shelly and everybody else, but they don't need our help. They got fans, and I do play it. It's still on there. I'm not saying that it's not, but my emphasis is on growing the genre. It is to support, promote, and educate about Tejano music. That's what my motto is. That's what it's about. And just giving you full disclosure, I am a fully accredited radio station with ASCAP, BMIC, second, all seven licensing companies, or companies that are here in the world. I do. I am available from, I have listeners from 132 different countries. And if you go to my website, if you're listening to Kuvo Radio on the either on the app, or if you're listening to it on the website, and you do like the song, there is an add to cart button on there. You can click on that add to cart. It will take you to Apple Music, and you can buy the song, or you can buy the album. I do not make any money from that transaction. However, I do, because I participated in the program, do get a discount on my licenses for participating, and which to me is just a small thing, just available for all artists, so that way they can sell their music. And I highly encourage it. Yes, we want you to stream your music, but why stream it? Buy it. It's 99 cents. You know why? Because if you're with your friend Pablo and y'all are having beers, watching the game, or in between halftime, and you go, hold on, you got to listen to the song. Hold on, I'm buffering. If you got it on your phone, you can listen to it anytime you want to. You can make a little playlist at home, and play it yourself. You don't have to sit there and keep searching for the song. You don't have to remember, what was it called? It's on your phone. Buy the song, keep it. It's yours. That's the wonderful thing about this that's available, that transaction. And so I highly encourage you to go ahead and buy Hilda's music. There's a lot of music out there that's available for her. She's got several albums that are out there. I love each and every one of them. I want to get them, by the way, whatever you can send me. And I want to buy them. It's not get them, but I want to buy them. I know if you talk to a lot of the artists, I stick to my guns. I really do buy the merch. If I have a cap, this is a gift, by the way, which is wonderful. She didn't have to do that, but I usually make an effort to try to buy some merch and get on out there and get some stuff. And so for those of us that are here listening, and I'm sorry about YouTube. I still cannot get, I mean, not YouTube, but Mixcloud. I still can't get the comments on there, but I know you guys are listening. I want you to listen to this song. This is the current hit for Hilda Lamas. It's called I can't say it. You're gonna have to say it.
Caprichosa.
What does that mean?
The actual literal term is whimsical. It was written by a really good friend of mine down in Brownsville, Texas.
Mhm.
So hopefully he's going to come out, Mr. Don Pedro Marroquin, an amazing songwriter, but also an amazing artist in his own right. The guy's voice is like, I would just say the Texas Luis Miguel. Yeah. And anyway, funny thing is, my first job out of high school, and I was off in college in Corpus Christi. My first job was at a Mexican restaurant, and it was his Mexican restaurant with him and his wife, Cynthia. And I was a singing waitress. They had karaoke. So in between waiting my tables, I'd go up there and take song requests.
Oh.
Best job I ever had in my whole life. So we kind of lost touch over the years and then reconnected. And then we found, oh, wow, we're like 30 minutes away from each other. So he would always write songs for all these other artists and pitch them over to all the artists there in Corpus. And I would always, kind of feel bad because one day I wanted him to write some songs for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that one day came. And so that's where we have Caprichosa. It's amazing how everything comes full circle. And so he called me. He said, "Hey, I want you to listen to some of these songs." And then I was like, "Yeah, those are really good." He goes, "They're for you if you want to record them." And I was like, "What?" So we have Caprichosa, which we're going to play now. And then I'm actually working on another ballad that I think actually you're going to really dig. And that one's called Amor Condicional. So hopefully that one will be released a little bit later on. Right now, we're trying to get the final touches for the music video for Caprichosa. So that's just a little background on that.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great song. Indio on the radio, Cuba Radio with Hilda Lamas. This is her current hit. It's called Caprichosa. See, I said it. Ah. Pat on the back for Lawrence.
Maldito, un payaso, un cretino, inepto, incompetente en el amor, idiota, tan cobarde y tan tonto. Contigo mi paciencia se acabó. A partir de hoy, tú te das de aquí por ser asqueroso, un embustero, te vas de mí. Te arrepentirás, lo vas a pagar, porque tus mentiras aquí llegaron a su final. Caprichosa soy, no soy una tonta, toda una dama caprichosa soy. Caprichosa soy, no soy una tonta, toda una dama caprichosa soy. Maldito, un payaso, un cretino, inepto, incompetente del amor, idiota, tan cobarde y tan tonto. Contigo mi paciencia sí acabó. A partir de hoy todo se acabó, todo se acabó. A partir de hoy te arrepentirás, lo vas a pagar, lo vas a pagar. Te arrepentirás. Caprichosa soy, no soy una tonta, toda una dama caprichosa soy. Caprichosa soy, no soy una tonta, toda una dama caprichosa soy. Caprichosa soy.
Eres caprichosa, pero si te quiero. Eres bien canija, me tachas de mujeriego, pero ya ni pedo, quedé como un payaso. Aunque tú me insultes, me encanta tu cuerpazo. Nena, vente para acá. Esta noche le vamos a dar. Nena, vente para acá. Eres caprichosa y así me encantas más.
Caprichosa soy, no soy una tonta, toda
Lex.
una dama caprichosa
Doble
soy.
X, papi.
Caprichosa soy,
Yo.
no soy una tonta,
Seguimos.
toda una dama
Bien del
caprichosa
género.
soy. Caprichosa
Nena, vente para acá. Esta noche le vamos a dar. Nena, vente para acá. Eres caprichosa y así me encantas más. Nena, vente para acá. Esta noche le vamos a dar. Nena, vente para acá. Eres caprichosa y así me encantas más.
Yeah, the new song, Caprichosa. Yeah, and then you got the little rapping back there, which is really cool. I totally love that. It's a different vibe. First of all, real quick, hey, what's up to Carlos P. Garcia? Thank you very much, Carlos, for joining us. And then buddy over there at Tejano Time, it's Tejano Time. He says that's a nice tropical song. He really likes it. And then Sonia over there in Killeen, Texas, I remember. She says, "Wow, what an amazing voice!" Now it does have that tropical kind of sound. It's more closer to like a salsa song, kind of like Jay Perez's que meta la pata or patada or something like that. I can't remember the name of the song, but it's got that I love the horns in it. First of all, it's a very
Hmm.
constant on the horns and everything else, and then the duet going into the rap song that was, really who's doing the rap in that?
It's a friend of the songwriters. He was down in Mexico. I honestly I can't remember his name right now to save my life. But he's a sweet, sweet guy. It's just, yeah, I'm completely drawing
Oh,
blank.
well, that's sorry I asked that question. No, it's
I
cool.
will
No,
post it later on my socials because now it's gonna
right.
drive me
Yeah,
nuts.
yeah, you're gonna have to. Carlos says, "Saludos, amigo." Thank you very much, Carlos, for being here, bro. It's and Carlos is another artist that's really up there, really good music. And it's funny because like it reminds me of Yessi. Uh, it's his name is JC Juan Carlos. He goes by JC, but they couldn't pronounce. They didn't know how because he said his name is JC. They were going to make a banner, but they didn't know how to spell it, so they just put JC on the banner, Yasi, and that's how he got his name.
Wow.
They didn't know how to do JC down in Mexico, which is really awesome. And I was like, wow, that's cool. Now you got a name that nobody, I was like, where did that name come from? Which is really awesome. He's another person who's got a sultry voice. He's got a lot of he did the remake for Grupo Mas. I don't want to say what song it is because I don't remember, but he's got great music, and it's really wonderful that we're getting all this new Tejano music coming in here. Now, your new song that you just mentioned, what's the vibe that you're going with on this song?
Oh, well, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a big ballad girl.
Oh
and
no,
and I
because
love
I've got like nine
ballads.
of them that I like here. Of course not. What do you mean ballad? You know?
And we've been toying around. Well, we can turn a cumbia, we can do a ranchera, we can do this, we can do a salsa, we can do whatever with the song. But after all the back and forth, and it was myself, Rick, Pedro, and his wife Cynthia, and we all just kind of just agreed, no, it just needs to be a ballad, and so that's what we're gonna go with, and I'm excited for it. It's just so powerful and so beautiful, and I would love to just share it right now with you, but I think Rick would probably bring my
I
neck
don't think. Yeah,
because it's not finished.
yeah.
Um,
I don't think we should do that because I first of all I don't want to get the wrath of Rick like you just said. He'd be like, "What did you do?" Sorry, Rick. It wasn't my.
there are many things that I know I can get away with,
Uh-huh.
but that is one that I can't. There are many pluses to marrying your producer, and every now and then there's a little minus.
Yeah.
You can't exactly do your own music leak and get away with it because he's gonna know, yeah, you're the only one who had access.
Right.
So we're just gonna
It's
have
like,
to wait just
really?
a little
Because
bit.
nobody has that but you. So it's just one of those things.
He's like, you're the only one with a key to the studio.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You remember those chicken enchiladas that you really like? Well, they're on the menu tonight. Wait. What happened? What happened? No, it's
No,
wonderful.
no, no.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah,
We're in anticipation. I really want to you be sure that you send it to me because I will play.
I will.
I am not. I've had several conversations with Rick, and I've said the same thing. I learned my lesson a long time ago with Bobby Polido when Desvelado came out. Did not like the song. I thought it was going to be a flop, and look what happened. It went it
Wow.
taught me a very valuable lesson. Not every song that I dislike is not a good song, and not every song that I like is a hit song. So the best thing to do is let the song be heard. Give it the opportunity for people to fall in love with it. The people will decide. I am not the people. I'm only a conveyor of music, and that's the way it should be. And so I give everybody an opportunity to be heard, and I truly believe in that. That's how, if you send me your music, for those of you that are listening in, if you send me your music, go ahead and send it in, and I'll guarantee you I will listen to it. I will stick to that. Also, if you're looking for, and this happened I'm only mentioning this because it was brought up last weekend when I did the interview. They were like, hey, can you interview this person? Can you just, my email's there. send it to me. Admin@QVORadio.live. Send me your request. I will tell you that I'm booked all the way to November, but
Oh wow.
yeah, it's a lot, you know. And I made the, I make all the flyers, I make all the videos, and then I'm making music videos on top of that. Then I have shows, and it's a lot. It's a lot of work, and but it's a labor of love. And when you love what you do, it's not work. It's just what you do, right?
Exactly. Yes. Oh my gosh. And you're so amazing at what you do.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just some guy from Vancourt, Texas. I'm, the, I'm nobody. So, real quick, Hilda, we're coming to the end of the show. This is the part where I give the artist the opportunity to go ahead and say what it is that they want to say. Go ahead and share whatever it is they want you to share. But before I give you the floor, I do want to remind everybody that, first of all, Hilda's going to be performing here this weekend. She's going to be performing at uh, 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 Ruby Ann's 281 takeover. I know. I mean, Ruby Ann's 281 takeover, Texas wildfire in Brownsville, Texas. It's going to be this weekend. You're going to come out there. I mean, you need to come out there. There's 14 bands. I think there's 14 bands. It's going to be an all-day affair. Lots of music. Alicia C, who's got a voice of an angel, she's going to be there. Annika's going to be there. Jenny B is going to be there. Hilda's going to be there. Ruby Ann, Magali. I mean, and more Roxanne. And then you got, Texas Pachanga's going to be there. There's just so much music that's going to be there available. There's going to be vendors. There's going to be food. And it's for a good cause. And get this, tickets are $10. And I believe there's still some pre-sale tickets available. Those are $8. You can only get them on the website. However, they will run out. And then it's $10, but it's $10 for all these bands. Come on, guys. Help out.
And you get to hang out with me because I probably will be there all day long.
Yes, there. See, you'll get, and I'll be there too. So you can hang out with both of us because I'm going to be there all day. I'm going to be shining in and out. And I do have to say one thing. The one thing that I want to remind people, what I see a lot in concerts, and I don't understand, is where people are like holding up their phones and they're videotaping everything. You're there. Put your phone down. I guarantee you the memory that you have in here is going to be 10 times better than whatever you put on your phone. It's not going to be the same. Enjoy the show. That's what it's about. You can let me do the videotaping. I'll do it. I'll put it up there. Besides, my cameras are better than your cell phone. So it'll be awesome. So with that being said, Hilda, please, the time is yours. The floor is yours. You can, say and do whatever it is that you want to. It is all up to you. Just no standing on your head and spitting nickels. That takes too long. So anyway.
No, I'd probably hurt myself.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Hilda Lamas. Go ahead, sweetheart.
I just want to thank all of you guys for tuning in, listening to my music. If you get a moment, please follow me on all of my socials. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. I'm there. Please go and follow because I'd love to get to know you guys better. Be on the lookout for some brand new music. I've got lots of it coming your way. So this is the place to stay tuned. And don't forget, this Saturday, come check us out in Brownsville. Ruby Ann's Tejano Takeover. Come on out. We're going to have tons and tons and tons and tons of fun. And you never know who's just going to pop their head in. So come on out. It'll be great.
Yes, it's going to be great. I guarantee you. We're going to listen to Caprichosa one more time as we say goodbye to everybody. Thank you so very much for everybody that's been joining in. And just to mention a few of those people, that's going to be Sonia, my cousin from Killeen. Hey, sweetheart. Thank you so very much for joining us. Andy Bustamante, Johnny Hernandez, Juan Gonzalez, Ruby Ann, of course, Roxy Mendoza. Then you got Gracie, my wife. Thank you, Gracie, for joining me. Oh, you're listening to my show.
Oh, so sweet.
Sweet. First time. What did you spend? No, just kidding. Randy Navarre, DJ Cowboy, AZ from Arizona. Daniel Garcia, Big D. Be sure you check out his YouTube group. He always shares music videos. He's always sharing, Tejano music. Thank you so very much for your support. I really do appreciate it. Carlos P. Garcia. Carlos, thank you so very much for joining, brother. We got to get talking. Be sure you give me a call. For those of you that are out there that are having a hard time, that you're kind of down in the dumps, you need to be lifted up. Let me remind you that every day planes take flight against the wind. You can do it. You're worth it. You're okay. Love you. All right. Thank you, Hilda. Thank you so very much. NDO on Cuba Radio. We're going to leave you with Caprichosa one more time.
Maldito, un payaso, un cretino, inepto, incompetente en el amor, idiota, tan cobarde y tan tonto. Contigo mi paciencia se acabó. A partir de hoy, tú te das de aquí por ser asqueroso, un embustero, te vas de mí. Te arrepentirás, lo vas a pagar, porque tus mentiras aquí llegaron a su final. Caprichosa soy, no soy una tonta, toda una dama caprichosa soy. Caprichosa soy, no soy una tonta, toda una dama caprichosa soy. Maldito, un payaso, un cretino, inepto, incompetente del amor, idiota, tan cobarde y tan tonto. Contigo mi paciencia sí acabó. A partir de hoy, todo se acabó. Todo se acabó. A partir de hoy, te arrepentirás. Lo vas a pagar. Lo vas a pagar. Te arrepentirás. Caprichosa soy. No soy una tonta, toda una dama caprichosa soy. Caprichosa soy. No soy una tonta, toda una dama caprichosa soy. Caprichosa soy.
Eres caprichosa, pero sí te quiero. Eres bien canija, me tachas de mujeriego, pero ya ni pedo, quedé como un payaso. Aunque tú me insultes, me encanta tu cuerpazo. Nena, vente para acá. Esta noche le vamos a dar. Nena, vente para acá. Eres caprichosa y así me encantas más.
Caprichosa soy. No soy una tonta, toda una dama caprichosa
Doble
soy.
X, papi.
Caprichosa soy.
Yo.
No soy una tonta,
Seguimos.
toda una dama
Bien del
caprichosa
género.
soy. Caprichosa
Nena, vente para acá. Esta noche le vamos a dar. Nena, vente para acá. Eres caprichosa y así me encantas más. Nena, vente para acá. Esta noche le vamos a dar. Nena, vente para acá. Eres caprichosa y así me encantas más.